They present the popular radio program Political Platform on the Ray Power FM network. Ray Power FM Political Platform, now on television. Keep track of the country's polity and be part of the process as they discuss and put political developments in the country into perspective. It's Ray Power Political Platform on AIT Abuja.
Hello out there, thanks for joining us on Political Platform. As usual, in 30 minutes, we'll be taking the race around the political terrain in Nigeria, and we'll provide you with the updates on the current, very, very current developments. We'll be telling you how the train of Nigeria is moving, and then we'll harvest from you through Political Platform at yahoo.com your input, your opinion, your suggestions, all geared towards how to deepen the roots of our young democracy. On the program, we have at least 3 interviews, if we can indeed limit to that, but we can have more. Dr. Usman Bugaje is a known politician, a former member of the House of Representatives. You remember he was the one that was appointed ambassador by the current government, and he said, "Thank you, I'm busy, I cannot go to take up the appointment." He says he has a lot in his hands, and he has spoken to us on the position of the North, how the North is planning a major summit in October to respond to the agitation and the determination and decisions by other ethnic groups and nationalities around Nigeria. Then Brigadier General Sani Usman, Army spokesman, also spoke with us this morning, where the ugly pictures remain ugly, talking about what the army is alleged to have done in Abia State. If you see those pictures that are on the social media, you'll be embarrassed as a Nigerian. The army says they will investigate. The initial response was that we are not responsible. But from the evidence, if it is true, the army is now saying they will investigate. It's so ugly that you want to ask what is indeed happening to our very refined military formation, and if our army, if they did it, has indeed lost their sense of civil engagement. Then we have the third interview by the Itiza Ukpi. He's the chairman, Central Planning Committee, for a conference, a summit that is going on right as we are speaking now in Makurdi. It is put together by some elites in Tivland, the governor of Benue State and the third Tiv. They are leading the leaders, political leaders, and the leaders of thought in Tivland to determine and review the fate of the Tiv people in the project Nigeria as part of the ongoing discussions that are going on around Nigeria. And we have all the other sundry developments, the political tidbits we have for you on the program. So it's exciting. It's going to be an exciting edition. Just stay with us, and we'll be able to give you through all this program and give you all the information. Okiri Agbonsuremi is my name, and I have Uju Eje on the program. Uju, the National Assembly has said they are not reopening next week anymore, that they are coming back the upper week. What is the problem?
Ohiria, the National Assembly did not state the problem. It was even just a statement, given out to the media. And I must say that I'm very, very disappointed, because at a time when so many issues are demanding attention in the nation, the National Assembly has chosen not just to go through its recess, unlike the former tradition where they would hold emergency sessions, but also to now extend it by 1 week. Whatever it's worth, I think is a very, very insensitive decision. And
Adebayo Bodurin, Usman Bugaje told me yesterday that the current government is not serious enough to be taken in the light of the kind of attention that Nigerians, particularly the nationalities, should take them. He says, the nationalities will meet. When the northerners meet, they will approach the southeast, the southwest, the south-south, and other nationalities in Nigeria and decide the fate of Nigeria, that the government will not have a choice. Are we moving towards the ultimate, what the people are talking about, getting a solution to this big elephant that is on the ground, not moving to move?
Yeah, I think there are two impressions I have about what is really actually happening. This is the whole thing, the way it is being handled, has thrown up those I would call tribal lords. But in the midst of this, in spite of this one, is that we are now witnessing a situation where it is provoking discussion, and this discussion must be encouraged, because it is the only route through which we can probably have compromise and consensus on this issue of restructuring. It's good that the Yorubas have met in Ibadan. The Ohanes Indigbo are also meeting. The chief people are meeting currently in Makurdi, and the North too also started. The committee, the panel they raised started.
They actually met last night in Kaduna.
Yesterday in Kaduna, and what Bugaje said, I think, is the truth, that Nigerians should talk among themselves and let us find solution to the plethora of problems that is besetting our nation.
Now, the big question, Amechi and Akwe, the big, very, very big question, will the current government in Nigeria handle it well? Are we handling it well? Do they have the capacity? Can they key in into what the wind that is blowing around Nigeria to handle it peacefully? Is the current militancy both displayed by people in the southeast, in the south, and now the ugly trend, the way the military, our own soldiers are handling the matter, will they be able to handle it well?
Well, the government has shut the door for some form of efforts. As the APC, the ruling party, did it initially after denying that they even campaign based on restructuring, but later came up to set up the El-Rufai committee, which is still working as we speak. Apart from the Tambuwa committee, they're still working. But it appears that the government is just one of the many stakeholders in the Nigerian project, and the government may not be superior nor inferior to other stakeholders. When every other stakeholder comes to the table, the government will have no other option than to tag along. And thinking of what happened in the Southeast yesterday, the video that has gone viral, even if it is not the military, even if it is any other person, there's no sane, rational human being that will see those video and sleep peacefully. I lost my sleep based on what I saw. It's inhuman, it's dehumanizing. You can't even look for a better word to think of it. But beyond the military saying they want to investigate, since they are already alleged to be a part of it, I expect other bodies, National Human Rights Commission, other independent bodies, to also carry out an investigation.
Now that the big question really remains, talking about whether the government is willing, ready, and politically conscious enough to handle it. Will the government in Nigeria handle it well? That is the big question. And there's a frenzy, as I told you, over the future of Nigeria. A rebate, a reorganization, a restructuring. What did Wale Soyinka call it?
Reconfiguration.
A reconfiguration. Well, whatever you want to call it, it is bordering on the agitation. It is one that we want to talk about. But let's go to our mailbox first. We begin by harvesting your mails, through your mails, your ideas, your opinion. What we think, what you think can be the way out of some of the observations and the lapses we have in Nigeria. Political Platform at yahoo.com.
Thanks, Ohiria. Welcome to the mail segment. I'm Amaka Okoro.
And I am Etenikang Akepu. You're welcome.
We'll begin with a reaction from Anderson Madu from Abuja, and he writes on the activities on the military in the southeast. The mail reads, "It should be recalled that the execution of Ken Saro-Wiwa and other Ogoni environmental activists led to the emergence of the Niger Delta militants. In the same vein, the unlawful killing of Muhammad Yusuf went a long way in radicalizing his members and pushed them into taking arms against the state. Therefore, taking military action against Nnamdi Kanu and his IPOP supporters will amount to robbing Pepe to an open injury. I therefore advise the government to urgently address those issues that gave rise to a resurgence of Biafra's agitation 50 years after, rather than adopting this chariot and wipe approach. God bless Nigeria."
Still on that light, Udo Maduka in Abuja says, "It is disheartening the manner Ohiria analyzes issues on the platform, as there is always an attempt to look good before this APC government. Rather than condemn a clear violation of the constitution by a rampaging army in the southeast, where even his own constituency journalists were not spared, he chose to pounce on their agitations. If Nnamdi Kanu violates his bail conditions, then the courts should be the organ to redress that, and not sending tanks against unarmed peaceful communities of the southeast. Fulani herdsmen still roam rural communities and highways of this country, killing and maiming unchallenged. and no such python dance is declared. God help Nigeria.
More reactions still pouring in. This particular one is coming from Anselm Eluwa in Abuja. The mail reads, in as much as I don't support the agitation of Nnamdi Kanu and his group, but I strongly frown at the development of heavily armed soldiers and armory to the southeast, as if we're in a full-blown war. The federal government should note that all over the world, secessionist groups abound, but it doesn't warrant the killing and display of military might against her supposed citizens and the Nigerian Union of Journalists, which she ought to protect.
And that is it on the mail segment. Keep sending your mails to politicalplatform@yahoo.com.
Bust it.
They present the popular radio program Political Platform on the Ray Power FM network. Ray Power FM Political Platform, now on television. Keep track of the country's polity and be part of the process as they discuss and put political developments in the country into perspective. It's Ray Power Political Platform on AIT Abuja.
Thank you so much. We are going straight away to Makurdi, the Benue State capital, where we have Itiza Ukpi, Chairman, Central Planning Committee of the summit that is holding at about now in the TIV hinterland, TIV capital. They are deciding, they are reviewing, they are looking at the position and what the TIV will be in the project Nigeria as the discussions are on. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us on the program. Hello. Hello. Hello, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us on Political Platform.
Okay.
Now, what is this summit all about?
Yeah, the summit until is being hosted by put together by the Country Professional Association.
Yes.
In collaboration with the Chief Traditional Council. Now, the idea is that over time, the chief people that are ranked above between the fourth and sixth largest ethnic group in the country have been lamenting their fair participation in what is today Project Nigeria.
Yeah.
Now, in the case of lamenting their participation in Project Nigeria, they have not been able to sufficiently utilize opportunities that come their way. Unfortunately, it has been difficult having them to sit together to discuss among themselves, to examine themselves and find out why they're having the challenges they're having in this exercise. It was in the absence of this participation of sitting together that we anti-professionals met with the Chief Traditional Council under the able leadership of His Royal Majesty Professor James Yatse Toki the Fifth. So
the top chief, the governor, and other prominent leaders will be at this conference.
Yes, we are expecting the two cases going to be here. The government is going to declare the summit open, and all prominent chief sons and daughters are expected at the summit.
Now, what do you expect to be the takeaway from this summit?
Now, the takeaway from the summit substantially is going to be we have had enough of lamentations. Let us also situate ourselves, reposition ourselves, and take charge of our rightful positions in the scheme of affairs. And this is saying by the fact that if we are rated between fourth and sixth largest largest group in this country, it means that where 10 Nigerians are standing, especially in this regime that we are talking about balancing federal character.
Let me ask you. Let me ask you this personal one. You should have a personal insight to this. Is the TIV in the north? Would they go with the idea of northern Nigeria? And why is TIV pulling themselves out of the Benue configuration? Should it have been better for all the ethnic nationalities in Benue, for instance, joining their forces in North Central to decide a common fate, since you cannot really completely isolate yourself from these nationalities?
Precisely, that is one of the issues that we are here. Over time, we are cropped as northerners. But when it comes to position sharing, we in the key people of North Central, in the Benue region, are denied equal rights as our brothers in the North. Despite our size, we are considered a minority tribe within the North. And when appointments they come to the zone, the North will say they are not their own appointment.
But when they need your
population, so we are beginning to feel that we are not actually not.
When they need your population, you are not. But when they are sharing the goodies, you are not.
Well, when they need our population, we are not. But when it comes to sharing the cake that comes with that belongs to the North, we are not part of it. And we are here to address that situation at the summit.
So you are actually going to say you are not.
We will say that we are Benue, we are thief, and as thief, we need to take our fair share as a people in this project Nigeria.
Are you generating
that it is enough of this limitation and non-inclusion? We want to belong. Let our numerical strength be our force. Let us speak. Let us be recognized as a people within this project. Let us take our fair share of what belongs to us. And that is what we tend to pronounce. We want the federal government to know that we as a people cannot be left behind.
Are you generating fresh ideas from this conference outside the previous conferences that have taken place 2014, 2005, and 1995, and 1989, and the rest, where there were conferences similar to this?
Actually, it is the desire of the key people now, particularly under the leadership of the President to see how these decisions will be solution-based and actionable.
All right.
So it is going to be part of the agenda of His Royal Majesty, that the key people will begin to account for themselves and then position ourselves and be recognized as a people in this country based on our right to eat and the sacrifices we have done. We record that we have paid our price over time.
Thank you.
Thank
you so much.
All these things, and yet we have not been sufficiently. In the National Executive Council, no key person is standing. It cannot be.
All right. Thank you so much. The chairman of the Central Planning Committee of the TIV Summit. It's a summit that is right on going in Benue State in Makurdi.
Boko.
In Boko. Okay, it's holding in Boko. Okay. The traditional headquarters of the TIV people. It is. We thank you so much for joining us on the program. Now we are going to go straight on to meet Usman Bugaje. Dr. Usman Bugaje, a former member of the House of Representatives, is giving us a hint of what is happening, the larger picture. It played back last night in Kaduna, where a committee was quickly summoned to come and take a brief of the situation ahead of the October major summit of all the ethnic nationalities in northern Nigeria. He told us that meeting is very, very important, and everybody is working assiduously in the north towards a common position that would not permit even the thief or anybody in the north to say they are sidelined. Let's listen to him.
Is there one north presently? Because people say there's no one monolithic north anymore. That the north that Tafawa Balewa and Alhaji Ahmadu Bello superintended over is not exactly the same north. Is that correct?
The north is still the north, as far as I know. But the north has always been what it is. Meaning, it's not one language, one, if you like, tribe or one culture. It has always been heterogeneous, a group of people, perhaps the older generation. The point I'm making is that the North has never been one particular language or tribe or particular, but that feeling of the North has always been there and is together, and we can see it.
And it's still there?
Yeah, it's still there. It's still there. In spite of whatever opinions that might be there in different parts of the North, but the North is still the North.
And
Just like other parts of the country are looking at these issues of the future of the Nigerian Federation, the North is also looking at that. Okay. But every part of the country has its own methods. The North will not go to a stadium and make a declaration.
Yeah.
That's not our way of doing things. The North will consult, and there has been a lot of consultation going on quietly in the last few months.
Okay.
And the North has now come together to hold a conference next month.
In October.
In Kaduna, exactly, in October. And this conference is going to bring in almost every platform of the North, including the governors, including the traditional rulers, the Ariwa Consultative Forum, the Northern Elders Forum.
Usman Bugaje, you hear the hint? 1914, they going back. The North is doing a lot of academic work. They are not just going to be talking about their opinion, like he said. He said it will be knowledge-based. It will be like, go back, let's see what happened. How do we drive home? And part of the interview we don't have time to give to you now. He indicated that the North is willing and will be willing to take whatever resolutions to all the other parts of Nigeria in a way to negotiate and discuss and to be able to come up with. And I asked, what happened to the government? They said, look, nobody should look at the direction of the government. They are not important in all this because they are merely elected by the people. Once the people have decided, the government will not have a choice than to do what is needful.
Hiria, I have a friend who would say, Tonya, reality.com. So the reality is now dawning on every section of the country that something has to be done and done fast if we must save Nigeria, and that there is the urgent need to renegotiate our corporate existence. That is what we are seeing. I was touched when I had the spokesperson for the TIF, the TIF conference talking. I mean, for it to get to this point, you see that perceived allegations of marginalization are almost becoming real. There is a wake-up call. It can no longer be business as usual in Nigeria.
All right. Just before we go to look at whether government is ready.
Yes, I think like I've said earlier on, it is a cheerful development. Cheerful in the sense that it is better for us to talk, to be on the table, to meet each other, to relate to one another, and then reach a compromise, a consensus in resolving Nigerian problems.
All right, let's go to the other issue. And the other issue is the government ready? The police, the army, the DSS, with the throw-ups we are seeing, with the agitation, some of them getting violent. Even if it is not violent physically, we have violent thoughts, we have violent talks, we have violent actions that are going on. Are we equipped? The system, the way we are running it, the government itself, are they politically wise enough to know what to do? Can the army tolerate some of the things and go to take a decision that will also tie up with these discussions that are going on, to know that the army is populated by the Tifs, the Esans, the Yorubas, the Hausa, Fulani, everybody, and that we need to really find a way so that we don't make the mistake of the Boko Haram beginning, the killing of the man who came up. We don't make the mistake, Yusuf. We don't make the mistake of Ken Saro-Wiwa that instigated more of the agitations in the South. Is the army ready with the pictures we saw? But let's just quickly take, because before I come to you, Amechi, let's take the position of the military, the army, so to say. And we have Brigadier General Sani Usman, the army spokesman, telling us what the army will do with the pictures that is trending in the social media.
We are quite aware that quite a number of mischief makers, shooting and uploading video clips in the cyberspace for reasons best known to them. It is not just issue of soldiers molesting. There were instances where a group of particular people ransacking buses to find out if a particular ethnic group members are inside the buses. But just like I said earlier on, we are investigating, and on the part of the military, if anybody is found to be involved in infringement of the code of conduct for exercise Egweke and the rules of engagement, definitely the appropriate disciplinary action, military disciplinary action will be meted against that person. And right now, as I speak with you, investigation has already commenced.
The Army spokesman, Brigadier General Sani Usman, giving us a promise, giving the nation a promise that they will investigate. And as we are talking, the investigations are on. It's part of the total package of the government handling of this total agitation we are talking about. Can they really handle it properly?
Well, I went into a friend's office yesterday and I saw a writing he put on the wall, very inspirational. And for the rest of my life, I'm going to be keen into the message from Charles Darwin, the master of evolution. He says, the species that survive most in the world, they are not the strongest or the most intelligent, but those that are quickest in adapting to changes. Changes is constant. There's no way what you see in 1914 will be the same in 2017. It's not going to be different. Well, there will be changes, and for you to effectively function in that environment, you have to be amenable to change. So if the Nigerian government says it's not going to allow changes, then it's a different bottle of fish. The president had continually said Nigeria's unity is not negotiable. Everybody agrees with him. Very few persons have said, let's break Nigeria. Everybody, and it's our position here that we must remain united. But the basis of the unity must be negotiated and renegotiated at every opportunity.
And the government
is what is happening now.
It's a
critical stakeholder. Let the government not be left behind and trying to do catch up. Let the government flow with the thinking, with the movement that is going on now, and key in for the betterment.
Just the last one, because we have to go now.
Yeah, we have to go. In 2015, there were fears in the country that the country may probably that election will signal the end of Nigeria. We survive it. We need to survive more years, more decades, more centuries, and the only route to reach is for government to promote dialogue among the people to reach consensus.
All right.
And Ahiria, the way everything is going now, it tends to lend credence to what the Yoruba elders came up with, that it is not for the National Assembly to handle this, but constituent assemblies of the people. Is that not what we're seeing right now?
Of course, we still have a constitution. That's where the government will we have to be sensitive in managing it, because we cannot do anything without the ground norm. That is the constitution. No matter what you see, no matter how bad the National Assembly is, we will still need to come together and say, let us do it properly. The National Assembly will still need to take a step to amend the constitution, to set up some of the frameworks for us to
establish a new
constitution. And that's the much we can take on the program this morning. I guess you are loaded and you want to share your views with us. Political Platform at yahoo.com. Okay, Agbonsoremi here. Have a wonderful time out there.
Bust it.